Hello there and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jack Edwards and today I basically thought we should have a little catch up, you and I. We haven't spoken in a while. This feels like a breakup. It's not a breakup, but I've got a brew. Hopefully you should have one too. That sounded like a poem. That's why I do my degree. But yeah, I thought I would basically tell you what I've been up to recently, how I've been feeling recently, and also I think that I've sort of worked out a little bit what my next steps after university might be, and that's a question I get asked a lot, and so I thought it might be good to just have a little chat. So let's do that.
On tonight's program, ladies and gentlemen, we have something that's going to make you sick.
So super excitingly, today's video is in collaboration with the amazing BetterHelp. Now, BetterHelp is available worldwide and has licensed therapists and counselors who are certified by their state's board. And what's really, really cool is that if you sign up right now, you will be matched with a licensed therapist in under 24 hours. There's also group seminars or groupinars once a week where you can discuss things like relationships or overcoming anxiety. So if that sounds good to you, then what you need to know is the following. You can find this absolutely wonderful app and website by heading to https://betterhelp.com/JackEdwards. BetterHelp costs $65 per week, and when you sign up, if you qualify for financial aid, then you can apply for that there. Obviously, this isn't a crisis line, so if you do need crisis services, then I will leave a link to some of those down below in the description box. But I just think BetterHelp is so great. It's such a fantastic idea to have serviced, licensed therapists and counselors available online. It could honestly be so beneficial to talk to someone about what's worrying you or what's affecting your mental health, especially as someone who is an outsider, so they can offer a perspective that is sort of outside of your bubble. So yeah, if you think that BetterHelp could benefit you or someone you know, then I will leave all of the information down below and you can head to my link to find out more. I will drink to that. So first of all, I guess the question is, what on earth have I been up to? Well, let me tell you. So I just finished my final Michaelmas term at Durham University, which is just absolutely absurd to me because I still feel like
a 12-year-old.
I actually turned 21 this term. What? Not that you would know it from my face. I have found this term incredibly tough, I won't lie to you. I think like as much as I found it so fun and I'm so happy with like all the people around me and we've had such good times, equally there's just a lot of like pressure on your final year at university and you're thinking about like the next steps because they're immediate and so soon and terrifying. Equally, you want to make the most of every single opportunity and experience because it's your final year at university. Like any societies and clubs that you haven't joined yet, you kind of rush to join and make the most of. So this term I got involved with TEDx Durham University. I also got involved with the 93% Club, which is basically a support system for state-educated students. Yeah, so it's all really good fun and I love doing all of those things and I really want to be able to find time for them and do them because I love them. But I also have like a degree and a 12,000 word dissertation. 12,000 words. I don't think I even know 12,000 words. Then there's like business as usual, like lectures and tutorials and seminars and essays, freaking essays. And I think that I am someone who loves being busy. Like I hate to admit it, but I freaking love being busy. I think that there is a bit of a culture now around like, if you're not busy, then you're not doing enough. And if you're not burning yourself out constantly, then that's not enough work and you should be bringing on more. And actually it's not that healthy. And I recognize that as like a self-destructive trait. We love self-destructive tendencies in this house. But I think sometimes this term I felt a little bit like, did you ever have those like squishy men where they were like elastic and you could pull one of the arms really far and then you could pull one of the other arms really far, and then you could pull a leg and the other leg and then the body and then the head, and like everything's going in all different directions. Everyone needs something from you and you're afraid to like snap. That's kind of how I felt. By always wanting to be so busy and always wanting to do everything and take on the world, eventually there does get to a point where you do feel like you're burning out a little bit, and that's a scary thing. But the reason I feel like I can talk about it now and share that is because right now I feel really relaxed and chill and like everything is going to be okay. And yeah, taking some time to yourself to like relax and recover is good. and it's fine. One thing that someone told me, actually, I think it was like last year when I was doing so many things, and it was just someone who I wasn't even that close to, who had just been watching my Instagram story and watching me like running around all over the place, and was like, they sat me down and they were like, are you okay? And I was like, you know what? I'm tired. You know, I'm freaking tired. And I think that's such a good reminder of just like checking in on people. And you know when you ask someone like, how are you? And the natural kind of knee-jerk response is always to be like, yeah, I'm good, how are you? Maybe like somewhere in the conversation, just go back and be like, actually, like, how are you really? I think that's a really good thing to do, and it makes people feel like they can open up to you a little bit more. And I think that's good for everyone, really. But one thing that she said to me is one thing that she's been trying to do is to focus on the art of active relaxation. And active relaxation is just setting aside time where you feel no guilt for just putting on a TV show and binging a series, or, you know, scrolling on social media for hours on end, and it's fine. Rather than seeing it as like a break between study, just take the whole afternoon and evening off and enjoy it and appreciate it as active relaxation, which in a way is actually productive because you're looking after up here. And I think that is such good advice, and that's something I've been really trying to do, and that's something I've been doing kind of this week a little bit as well. I'm actually at the moment staying in London. I've had some like meetings up here, and tomorrow we're going to like Winter Wonderland, doing some Christmas shopping, going climbing, which is really, really fun. In fact, my housemate from Durham and I are staying in this apartment together, and we were just like laughing about something, and she looked at me and was like, wouldn't it be fun if we lived together? We have lived together for 3 years now. So I'm glad I'm memorable. What else have I been up to? Earlier, like last month, we had Winter in the City, Social in the City, which was just like so much fun. I always just feel so incredibly grateful to get to meet viewers and like do meet and greets and stuff. Like I can never get my head around the fact that people come to meet us. Like, that just blows my little brain. One of my rules for events like this, or whenever I meet someone who watches my YouTube videos, is always to learn like 3 facts about that person who I'm talking to. Because I feel like sometimes when you think of like a meet and greet, you think of people coming up to you, you know, getting a photo and then leaving. But I love to have a proper like chin wag. Like, I want to know what your dog's name is. I want to know what their favorite toy is. I want to know, you know, where you go to school and what you study. I don't know, I think it's really cool to get to hear about people's passions and stuff, and I love it. It's like my favorite thing to do, is just get to meet loads of you guys. The end of term, although I had so many deadlines and so many essays and things just sort of got a bit on top of me, we did get to do loads of really fun things. Like Christmas at university is just so lovely. We went to like a carol service at the cathedral, we had a silent disco at my college at Durham, we had our annual Friendmas dinner where we basically all cooked Christmas dinner. I was in charge of the carrots and parsnips. It's kind of my thing, basically because it's all I'm trusted with. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! And yeah, doing things like Secret Santa and stuff. That's one thing I think I'll really, really miss about university. Like, it's just one of my favorite days every single year. And then I did actually take 2 whole days off to go to Gdańsk in Poland. I'll put a little montage of clips that I filmed on the screen for you, but basically it was the most beautiful place. It looked like a chocolate box tin. Like, all the buildings were so lovely, and it was so clean and nice, and it was also really, really cheap to fly to. I think it was the cheapest flight I could find on Skyscanner, and so I messaged my friends being like, hey, let's just go, let's have a really good time right at the end of term. It looks really, really lovely, so why the hell not? Yeah, I think you can probably see from these clips how beautiful it is, and I'd highly recommend it, and it's also very, very cheap there, so get yourself to Gdańsk, my friends. We did nearly miss our flight home, but it wouldn't be a trip with me if something didn't go disastrously wrong. And then, super excitingly, an absolute dream come true, yesterday I went to the BBC to film a series with them for BBC Bitesized. It was such a cool day. I filmed with Katie Thistleton, who hosts a show on Radio 1. She is just the warmest, kindest, most welcoming person, and was just like such a good person to co-host with. So yeah, she's awesome. Look at this, we've got the jazziest little table going on. And the perfect instrument to play with.
It's going to be my new career, playing this instrument. Acrylic nails on weird modern tables.
It's a lot. I can't wait for the Ed Sheeran collab. Now we've got to pick everything up that we threw. I just love getting to do anything to do with presenting and being in a room. Like, I can't express how much I love being in a room with creative people. Like, you have someone who's in charge of sound and they know everything there is to know about sound. And then there's someone on the camera and they know everything there is to know about that camera. And some of those cameras look like medieval weapons, they're so big. And then there's people like Katie who are so great at presenting and they know so much about how to bring the best out of their guests. And yeah, I love doing that kind of thing, and it's something that I would really love to do more of in the future. And so I guess that is a bit of a segue. We're segueing like that guy at TANACON to talking about the future. What I'm going to do after university is something that my friends ask me, my family ask me, I ask myself, you guys ask me. I feel like my dog is looking at me and asking me. It's a scary thing, having to grow up and be an adult and live your life, but I think I finally sort of know. I think there's something about being in your final year of university and that actually being your next step, that you do actually start sort of considering what you might do next. And so I've sort of been thinking about different options to make sure that I'm sort of covered no matter what happens. And so the first sort of major thing that I'm doing is applying to do a master's. I think everyone saw this coming, but like, I have a very obsessive, addictive personality, which is probably why I've made a TikTok, and I am obsessed with learning and my subject, and I just want to know even more about it, and I want to continue studying it for as long as I can. I definitely think that when I applied to university, English was like my favourite subject and something that I was really passionate about, but I don't think I was in love with it and that I was like absolutely obsessed with it until maybe my second year at university, and that's when I just became so in love with it. And I just feel like I'm not done with it yet. Like, there's so much more that I want to research, and I know what I'm interested in, because university sort of gave me the opportunity to explore lots of different time periods, lots of different genres, lots of different styles of writing, anything you can think of, from Germanic myths and legends all the way up to things that were published in the last decade. And so I think through doing that, I've sort of found the thing that I personally I'm really interested in. So to me, the obvious advancement of that is to do a master's. So I'm currently in the process of doing my application for that, which again has been another stress because you have to apply by like mid-January. So that's been something else that I've sort of had on my shoulders, but it's something that I'm really excited about and just intrigued to see kind of what happens next. Because master's courses are very competitive, there is a very high chance, very high chance that I will be rejected and that I won't get in. And I feel like, I'm gonna say this, that's fine. And I say that because when I was applying to university originally for my undergrad, for me it was like the be all and end all. It meant everything to me. And obviously going to university is like a big next step and something that I was absolutely certain that I wanted to do and felt like something I wanted to do then. With a master's, I know that obviously if I'm rejected this time around, I've got next year to reapply, and the year after that, and the year after that if I wanted to. I feel like it still has the same importance to me, but it's not as big an existential crisis as it once was. Like, I've been rejected by my dream university before. I've done that, and I moved on from it, and things worked out okay. And so I'm such a strong believer in fate and that everything happens for a reason. All that hippie, good vibes only stuff. I live for that. I'm just going to take it as it comes, take any rejections that happen along the way on the chin, and hopefully be okay and end up in a position where I'm really happy. And I think the reason that I feel quite level-headed about that is because I do kind of have alternatives which I've sort of tried to work out. So you may know that I do an English literature degree. I think I've literally just spoken about it, so you probably do know that. English, although it's given me loads and loads of transferable skills and it's been so fascinating, I don't think that the next step for me is to be like a lecturer or an English teacher or anything like that. Like, that's not really where my heart is. I would ideally love to do more research if I did get into a master's scheme, but if I don't, then something else that I would really like to do is to transfer the study of English literature into a more practical skill. And for me, that is something like script writing, say, where you could do a 6-week course learning all of the like crucial skills of script writing that, you know, when you submit something to a major company, it's just like things that they will expect and will just make your writing look more professional. Script writing is something that I would absolutely love to do, especially like adapting novels and books into TV shows or like films. Equally, I absolutely love presenting. I find myself thriving when I'm in a room full of creative people and that's something that I would really love to do next as well, potentially, and you know, just be involved in that kind of industry. Honestly, anything. Like, I loved doing the podcast, I love doing the wooden spoon, but like radio potentially, or kids TV, or normal TV, anything, like that would just be an absolute dream come true. So hopefully that could be something that I could look into once I have the time after university. As you guys know, I also love to travel. I've got some really exciting plans for the next year, but after university I would love to see even more of the world. I'd also really love to experience like working abroad and that kind of thing. I've read a lot of books recently actually about people who just traveled a lot and lived their lives all over the world, and it kind of made me think about it and think, actually there's nothing stopping me from just going and living anywhere that I wanted to, which is so exciting. For me, I think I would definitely like to move to London within a year of graduating from university. I'm so in love with this city, and I don't know, there's something about it where I feel like I just thrive in a big city. I can definitely see myself living here. I don't think I would do a master's in London just because I've grown up so close to London, I work a lot in London, and I plan to live here in the future. So for me, it doesn't really make sense to do university here as well. I feel so lucky to have got to go and live in Durham in the northeast, somewhere that I had never even really been before university, and get to experience that part of the country. And for 3 years, I've got to call it home. I definitely want to experience a brand new place and see what happens. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of for the future. I hope that kind of answers the question that I've been seeing pop up pretty much everywhere about what's your next step, what are you gonna do? That's what I'm thinking at the moment. But if things change and if things don't go to plan, then that's fine, and I'll work it out. So I think I'm going to wrap up this video there. I think this was a good little catch up. Let me know down below how you're doing. What have you been up to? I hope you're doing really well. Hope you are all looking forward to Christmas if you celebrate it. Looking forward to a new year. Make sure you do go and check out BetterHelp. I will leave my link down below. And I am going to go back to listening to the new Harry Styles album, avoiding my dissertation, and probably making some TikToks along the way. So I will see you very soon. Give this video a like if you liked it. If you like, you can subscribe for more from me down below to continue following me on my final year of university. But for now, I've been Jack Edwards. I hope you're having a lovely day, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye!
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.